only not nearly as good. All right, and we've assembled this band here tonight, and we're just doing a few shows. We did this show in Perth, and I first met Grant McLennan in 1988. I was walking along in New York on a snowy afternoon. Can we get some snowy afternoon music? Come on, make it feel like... That's not very snowy. I'm from Perth, Steve. All right. So we got the idea. I'm walking along on a snowy afternoon. I walk past a bookshop, and I look in there, and there are three of the go-betweens standing on a table covered in books, and they're just standing there, and they're playing. And there's Grant, and there's Amanda, and there's Robert. And I was just sort of walking along and, you know, minding my own business, whatever that was. In New York, I walked through the shop and I see them standing there playing, and I walk in and they were so fucking amazingly good. And the people in the bookshop, nobody was really taking any notice. So people were just looking at the books and stuff, and then there was this band playing, and they were absolutely unbelievable. And the words, and I never really thought about the Go-Betweens. I was slightly jealous. They had a lot of success in England, ladies and gentlemen. The church didn't get very good reviews in England all the time. Sometimes they said we were silly. And really hurt my feelings. And Grant, they never thought was silly. And I felt, if he said what I said, would he be silly, or is he just something about him? Anyway, I was kind of, I didn't know a lot about the Go-Betweens. I was kind of envious of their really good reputation. But I hadn't really formed any opinion at all. And I just sort of walked into this shop, and they rushed into my head and my heart, and I was absolutely smitten by how unbelievably brilliant they were. And my jealousy and envy was going, calm down, you can't like them this much. And I was going, no, look, I don't care anymore, I'm giving up, I'm completely surrendering. During they did their thing, and they were flogging their latest record, and Grant McLennan jumped down off the table, he came over and started talking to me, and he became, I don't know how he really felt, but he instantly became my best friend, and I had never loved any other bloke as much as I suddenly loved him. He was just so charismatic, and he was so funny, and he was so witty and smart, and strange and mercurial, and brooding and enigmatic and contrary. And he was amusement 24 hours a day. And you know, I've worked with a lot of guys, and some guys are just guys, you know what I mean? Like, you know, certain people you meet who are sort of quite famous Australian rock stars, you meet them, they're quite just, you know, why shouldn't they be? They're just ordinary geezers. Grant was not like that. Grant was something really weird and special, and just drew me in. We planned, Grant said, we're gonna have a band called the Drug Lords. And we're gonna get Paul Kelly and Neil Finn in. And so one afternoon, Grant and I sat down with Paul Kelly in King's Cross, and Grant tried to explain the Drug Lords to him. And Paul was just sort of sitting there like, yeah. And then when it was all over, Grant said, no, he's not gonna do it. And then we were never even game to invite Neil Finn. Why would he want to be mixed up in something like that? So Grant and I ended up being the Drug Lords on our own, and Grant changed their name to Jack Frost. And we went into a dilapidated studio in Balmain that was being taken apart because the guy wasn't paying his bills, and people coming and taking the equipment away. And Grant and I were in there, and we made this record, and we had a lot of fun, and smoked a lot of dope. He drank a lot of red wine, smoked a lot of Peter Stuyvesant soft pack only, please. Do not come back with a hard pack, because it means you're uncool. So, we're going to give you this whole first album tonight, plus my misty-eyed reminiscences about the whole thing. Thank you. Okay, strangely enough, when Grant first mooted the idea, and look, it's really piss weak of me to have it all up here with the notes and words and everything, isn't it? But I am. And I've got a little light as well, isn't that nice? It's so Sex Pistols, isn't it? Like anarchy with a little lamp. it's just too much, I can't remember it all, not in one go. By the time we get to the last show, I'll be like, I'll have it all down, but right now, I'll be reading a bit, I hope that's all right with you. Thank you, all right. I mean, what could you do if you didn't like that? Yeah, so I'm going to be reading a bit. Strangely enough, ladies and gentlemen, when we first got together, Grant said, I have a name for one of our songs. And I said, what's that? And he said, Birdowner. And he already had the name before we even struck the first note. Grant knew he wanted to have a song called Birdowner. So now we're going to do, and let me just quickly introduce you to all of these people. On the guitar over here, we have these people are all from Perth and Fremantle. This is Mr. Sean Coulson. On the drum kit over here, we have Mr. Sean HOFFMAN. On the other drum kit, we have Mr. Lockie HOFFMAN. On the keyboards, we have Mr. Todd. Hey Todd, I've forgotten your last name.
It's Hoffman.
Todd Walker. That's a cool name, right? So we've got the 3 proper instruments in this section, like the classical, you know what I mean. We've got, on the violin, we have Rachel Aquilina. And on the cello, we have Miss Anna Sarsage. And I just want you to understand the enormity of this. As a musical director, he has learned all of Grant's parts and on guitar and vocals, and sometimes when he sings, I couldn't imagine anyone else. He really captures Grant's vibe, and I think that's an incredible thing. Or we couldn't do this, and we couldn't have done this project. I'm really proud to announce that tonight, doing all of Grant's parts, is Mr. ADRIAN HOFFMAN. So, with having said all of that, what an old gas bag I've become. A lady down here just said, I liked it better when he didn't say so much. Having said all that, now we're going to give you Birdowner.
Screeching squall.
Grunt was like the real thing.